system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history.
In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing.
The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We'd get crushed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, it seems like the crypto media outlets believe that the SEC has filed to appeal the Ripple lawsuit case ruling to challenge whether or not XRP is a security or not. But that is absolutely not what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, what's occurring is that the judge in this SEC case has confirmed that XRP will not be deemed a security at all. But the SEC is continuing to make questionable decisions, requesting an interlocutory appeal. And note that this appeal itself is not whether or not XRP is a security, just its losses on the programmatic and individual sales issue. You see, what's been occurring recently in the crypto space is that the Bitcoin maxis, they've been dealing with a lot of copium, failing to understand that any appeal that is made will not make XRP a security in any capacity at all. And that copium is reaching its climax today. You're hearing misinformation stating XRP is being appealed for being a security, and that's absolutely false. But what I need to stress is we've already won, and there's going to be a moment where the maxis are going to have to deal with the truth. Here, Eleanor Tourette stated Judge Torres says the court will seek to schedule a jury trial for the SEC v. Ripple in the second calendar quarter of 2024. And this is specifically regarding Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. What's also interesting is that the SEC does not currently have the right to appeal, which is why they are asking permission to file an interlocutory appeal. Ripple will file its response very soon, in the next week. But what all of you need to know is that what's currently going on right now is nothing to be concerned about. This is extremely important. And the price has not reacted negatively at all because the insiders and the people in the know that this is a big, fat nothing burger. Keep holding strong, my friends. We are in the right position. Now, guys, what I do want to mention to cap off this video for today is that the chairman of a $385 billion private equity group stated that the mighty Blackrock is willing to have a Bitcoin ETF, and maybe Bitcoin is going to be around for a while. Isn't it so interesting how they change their tune so quickly after the big boys get involved and make these institutional products? You see, guys, first they ignore us, then they laugh at us, then they try to fight us, and then we win. They laughed at Bitcoin, tried to say it's a scam, called it rat poison. Snake oil salesmen are in this market. It's only used for illicit activities. Now, BlackRock is applying for a Bitcoin ETF, and it will get approved one day. Then, in the same breath, they did the same thing with XRP. They tried to say XRP was a scam, an unregistered security. XRP is the banker's coin that is heavily centralized. They will lose the SEC lawsuit, but then we won. What are they going to say next? You know what's so sad is the fact that XRP, the XRP community as a whole, and Bitcoin, imagine what we could accomplish if we all work together. Imagine what could be accomplished with the resources and the wealth of the Bitcoin maxis that got into Bitcoin in 09, 2010, 2011, 2012, along with the research capacity of the XRP army that has been absolutely on the money, deep diving the corruption and conflicts of interest of Ether, deep diving into the documents and backroom deals of Ripple and XRP. Could you imagine what a powerhouse we could create? But sadly, the crypto tribalism prevails for no reason other than ego and pride. It's sad to see, but I pray for the day these communities come together and realize one thing, that there's no better way to fuck the SEC than by doing it together. The SEC is the biggest enemy of innovation here in America. And the one thing I'm going to stress to all of you is, the faster we work together, the more we get crypto lobby groups, the easier it's going to be to make generational wealth across a variety of different digital assets. Extreme shout out to Justin Booth, one of my mentorship clients, as he's rocking that fuck the SEC shirt with the double middle finger with absolute pride. Now guys, without further ado, let me leave you with this clip showing you where the world is about to go. But before I leave you, if anyone's interested in getting your Fuck the SEC t-shirts, the link to my apparel store is in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
This is perfectly timed because Novogratz has been the piñata of Bitcoin when it goes down. It's been the genius of Bitcoin when it goes up. And all of a sudden, Larry showed up at the door to say, hey, big, respectable firms can prosecute and do Bitcoin. Link Lawrence Fink of Blackrock to Mike Novogratz.
Well, what's happened is people, as you suggest, make fun of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but now the establishment, Larry Fink at BlackRock, is now saying they're going to have an ETF, if approved by the government, in Bitcoin. So you're saying, wait a second, if the mighty BlackRock is willing to have an ETF in Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin's going to be around for a while.
Lisa wants to jump in here, but I'm going to cut to the news moment. Is Carlyle announcing this morning a Bitcoin advocacy?
No, I don't think so. But there's no doubt that Bitcoin is something that I wish I had bought it at $100 a Bitcoin when Mike Novogratz started buying it. It's now at $29,000. So he's made a lot of money. And a lot of people who bought it at the $100 or less are feeling pretty good. Now, it went up as high as 61,000, I think. Even down to 31,000 or even 29,000 now is still pretty good profit if you bought it at 100.
We all wish we would have bought it at 100 and to ride it up. It's one thing for BlackRock to come up with an ETF because they believe in the proposition of Bitcoin. It's another because they see a profitability proposition where they can, you know, basically take advantage of the interests other people have. I mean, isn't that more of what this is? That basically Wall Street is saying, if there is a market for it and we can viably make one for them and make some money, why not?
Well, remember, Wall Street is in business to make money, and this is something they can probably make money of. You have to remember, the United States government has been somewhat skeptical of it. I think Democrats in the Congress, and particularly the people regulating the SEC, are skeptical of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But outside the United States, there's a lot of interest in it. I think FTX really hurt when it went bankrupt, and it hurt the crypto industry. But a lot of people around the world want to be able to trade in a currency that their government can't know what they have, and they want to be able to move it around, rightly or wrongly. And so I don't think Bitcoin is going away. I think the Republicans on Capitol Hill have been pretty supportive of it.
There's a difference between having a seamless cross-currency payment, basically saying that instead of going to Western Union, I can go and just transfer something in Bitcoin if it has a stable enough price. That's one proposition. But the proposition of Bitcoin as a store of value that could kind of be bid up the way that gold or silver could seems to have been parked with the advent of yield suddenly that you can get for actual money. I mean, isn't that sort of the feeling that you're getting?
Well, there's no doubt that when interest rates are as high as they are, you don't need to have gold or other kinds of things to get you some solid return, because when you get 5% on treasuries, but eventually 5% will be coming down at some point, I don't think Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies that are the better ones, the better known ones, Bitcoin and a number of others, are going to go away. There's enormous interest around the world in being able to have something you can transfer without the government knowing about it and keep it private. And you know, you can say people shouldn't do that, but that's not going to stop people from doing it.
Mr. Novogratz on Mr. Gensler. What did he say about the efforts of our chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission?
Well, Gary Gensler, who's the chairman of the SEC, is not a big fan of cryptocurrencies. I think that's fair to say. But he lost a major case recently in court where he was trying to argue that one of the cryptocurrencies, Ripple, was a security, and he lost that case. So I think the SEC has not been able to convince at least the government yet, or at least the courts, that cryptocurrency is such a dangerous thing. And I remember a lot of people in the government now are thinking that Gary Gensler won't be the chairman of the SEC forever.
That's where I wanted to go. I mean, these guys just wait him out, right?
I think that's a strategy that's very popular in Washington, waiting out regulators you don't like.